Welcome to the boating adventure.
Good morning and welcome to the deck of the Swamp Duck. It's Monday the 1st of August 2022, and as you can see I have got a friend with me today. In fact, this is my grandson Zach. Say hello, Zach.
Hello.
I know what you're thinking, I don't look old enough to have a grandson who is
13
years old. So I've decided to take him out today and we're going to have a really fun day. I'm going to get him to do some steering and some locks and that kind of thing. If you look at the Royal Yachting Association's regulations on youngsters operating boats, you can have a helmsman's certificate from the age of 12. So anybody who wants to take up boating can do so at a very early age. So the Royal Yachting Association's helmsman's course says, yeah, you can have a certificate from 12, but you do have to be under the supervision of a responsible adult up until the age of 16. And thereafter that, you can go out on your own. So I'm going to get Zach to do a few things today, and you never know, he might become a helmsman. So we're just going to go through some of the important things that you tend to take for granted and do without thinking. We'll just highlight them as Zach's aboard and he hasn't done this before. So what's the first thing we have to worry about?
Steering.
Nope. More important than steering.
The engine.
No, not even the engine.
I don't know.
It's you. It's us. Personal safety. Right, so personal safety on the boat is the most important thing of all. So the first thing we have to wear, because we're going to go out on a river to start off with, we have to wear a life jacket, and probably we wear a life jacket all day because being a little bit new to it. So we'll just get you to put on a life jacket. That is the first thing that they ask you to do, is to learn how to put a life jacket on. So why do we wear a life jacket? Because you can swim.
Because if we fall in, then it keeps us floating. Right,
so it's to do with keeping you floating, and it's also to do with shock. So if you fall into water which is less than 15 degrees, you get a cold water shock. And the first thing that happens when you get cold water shock is your body naturally takes a gulp of air. And if you happen to be underwater at the time that you take the gulp, which is probably because you've fallen in, you'll end up choking on the water, and then you're going to get a lung full of water. Plus, extreme cold can, like that, sudden shock can make you have a cardiac arrest, so you'd have a heart attack. So if you fall into water that's 15 degrees, or below 15 degrees, then you get this cold water shock, and it can kill in 1 minute. So it is quite important to recognise these facts. So we wear a life jacket. If you're on your paddleboard, you have a buoyancy aid, yeah? Mm-hmm. So the difference between a buoyancy aid and a life jacket is we don't want that. The way that these jackets work is when they hit the water, they inflate. Now obviously when you're on a paddleboard or a canoe, you're falling quite often, so you don't want that pumping up every time, because once it goes up you've got to get a new gas cylinder to pump it all up, whereas a buoyancy aid is just there to help you stay afloat, and it doesn't do anything. It's already inflated, or it's just made of plastic or something that keeps you afloat. So that's the difference between that and a life jacket. The life jacket would keep an unconscious person afloat. So if you hit something on the way in the water and you were unconscious, or you took that gasp or something and it knocked you out, then that would keep you afloat, because it would keep your head above the water. That's the way it's designed. Whereas a buoyancy aid, if you were unconscious, it wouldn't really keep you afloat, because you do have to do a bit of kicking and to keep keep yourself afloat. That's the difference. So we'll put one on, see how we go. This bit goes over your head, like that, and then your arms go through those bits. Okay, and then this bit clips together, and I'll make sure it kind of fits. You're obviously a lot slimmer than me. The most important bit for a youngster is to have this strap, excuse me, that goes up between your legs, and then that goes in there, and that stops the life jacket coming off over your head, so it can't go anywhere, so you're kind of trapped in it. So I think that's about right. It's right, they're quite lightweight, aren't they? So you don't really notice it until you fall in, then you'd notice it. And what happens is that big bag of air comes out here, just comes out, splits this open, and it does it automatically, so you don't have to do anything. As soon as you hit the water, that will inflate. If it doesn't, you pull that cord, take it off, and you put it back on. Because the test is, can you put it on? Right, so if I handed you a life jacket, can you put it on? That's it. Yep. Happy with that one? That's it. That's excellent. Right, that's the first one. You've passed. Well done. So Zach, what's the most important thing?
Personal safety.
Personal safety, well done. And looking very dapper in that. Right, so the next thing is what?
Checking the boat's ready.
Checking the boat is ready. Absolutely correct. 100%. Right, so first thing we're going to check is the engine. Engine's at the back here. There's not a lot to check on this boat as regards the engine. It's not like a narrow boat, but there are a few things. First thing to check is that you've got enough petrol. Now I know that I filled the petrol up the other day, so it's now got 24 litres of petrol, and the petrol is tucked away underneath here, out of the way. And I also have some spare, but we're not going to go very far today, so we'll probably only use about 5 litres at most. Right, next thing you've got to do is check the electricity is on, and this is the master switch of everything. On this switch here, you've got all the batteries are connected to it. There are 3 batteries on this boat. 2 batteries are what we call house batteries, and they run the things like the lights and if you put the heating on, stuff like that. And then you've got the starter battery, and the starter battery is just there to start the engine. So there's 3 batteries, and they're all controlled here. So you can have, these are the house batteries, the number 2s, and there are 2 of those. That puts all of the batteries on, and that one just puts the starter battery on. But I tend just to leave it on number 2. So I keep my starter battery in reserve, if you like. This engine is a 25 horsepower Mariner 2-stroke engine. 2-stroke means that it needs a mixture of petrol and oil, and the oil is mixed at a rate of 50-1. And because petrol has changed recently, I also put a small amount of additive on it if I can only get E10 petrol. If it's E5 petrol, then I don't put any additive in it. So we'll just get us started, and then we'll just do the final checks on the engine. The first thing we have to do is plug it in. So I never leave this plugged in, I always take it out. So that goes in the back there. Oop, and it clicks, and that's in. And then you use the little pump here, and in order to get that to work, you need to lift it up. If you have it down below, it won't work, so you need to lift it up, and you pump that until it goes hard. When it's hard, then you know that the petrol is flowing. And I always have to start it with a little bit of a choke, so that comes out. And what happens with this engine, I'll start it, it'll cough, and it'll stop. So I then put the choke straight back in, start it again, and it should start. Right, you can film this. Right, so it does a little bit of a cough, a splutter, so that goes in. Very smoky because it's not been used for a day or two, but that will go. It's a good idea to get the engine going and leave it running for a while, just to get it nice and warmed up and settled. So we'll do that while we do all the other little jobs. Now the thing that you're looking for is, can you see some water splashing from it? There's a water splashing from it. Yes. So that's okay, that's what we're looking for. What we'll do, we'll take the boat out of the marina, and then we'll just go on to the Trent, and we'll go up the Trent, and then I'll turn it around, and then you can bring it back. Okay. And then we'll go up the canal, and we'll do some locks, alright? Okay. You're enjoying yourself, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are those people who own these boats?
They have them. Some of them have got a boat moored up at the side.
Look.
Oh yeah, they are. Cutes. You get a few herons and that around this area, so hopefully we'll see them.
Yeah. These are the nice boats.
This part here is if you want to do any work on your boat, like you want to paint it or something, you're supposed to bring it over here to do it, so you're not getting paint on other people's boats and things.
That boat looks nice.
That's lovely, isn't it? An old cruiser, that. So this boat is, next year, is 50 years old. So it's almost as old as me.
This boat?
So next year it'll be officially a classic boat. Going to do 2 short bursts on this horn. That's to say that we're going to go to the left. Anybody wants to know?
Is it loud?
Sounds like a duck. As soon as we pass this point here, we're now onto the river. So that's the Trent just going off there. So we can now crank it up a bit. And you feel the front of the boat lifts up a bit. Right, sunshine. Your turn. Okay, so I've put Zach in the hot spot, yeah? You're here. Right, now if you want to speed it up a bit, you've got the little black lever there, just gently do it. That's it. That'll do. Feel the waves now. That's what we've made, I think. Just look out for obstacles. There's a bit of a log there. Don't want him. Looks like a crocodile. Just a log. That's it. Bring it into the middle a bit more, so we don't want to get near the bank because we don't know how shallow that is. Best place on any of the canals and the rivers is just trying to stay in the middle unless there's anything coming. Look at that. The fisherman. A bit more. I don't think there were any, just this bit. There are a few things you're supposed to slow down for. You're supposed to slow down for fishermen, and if there are moored boats, then you need to slow right down. And obviously if you're coming up to a narrow bridge or something, you'd slow down a bit. Look in the mirror here, you can see how much of a wave you're making. That's why I have that there, just so you can see. It's not very much, isn't it? So this mirror checks what you call your wake. So the wake is the amount of splashing you're making at the back. they go on about speed. It's not really speed that's the worry. The speed is the wake that you're making that is the worry.
Faster you go forward.
Yeah. The way this boat is built, when it gets to a certain speed, you feel the front of the boat lifts up, so the back of the boat goes further into the water, so it makes a much bigger hole in the water, and that's why it creates quite a big wave. This boat is really designed for rivers and for going on the coastal waters, where it really wouldn't matter. The Long Horse Bridge. It's built for long horses.
How many laps are we going to go through?
2 or 3.
Can you take it out then, Mum?
Sorry?
Can you take it out? It's very thin gap.
Very well.
It's a very thin gap.
Yeah, we got to get used to it. No, I'll do it if you want.
We'll see how thin it is.
See how you go. Can't do much damage. All you can do is like go slowly and we're fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Break it well.
We could all drown.
You have to have that piece of tool to open them up.
Yes. Right, so these are... That's what you call a windlass. It has to open 4 paddles. There's 2 on either side on this lock. There's 2 what they call ground paddles, which fills the lock up from underneath, and then there are 2 gate paddles which fill the lock up from the gate. And it has to do the ground paddles first, so it lifts the boat up, and then it does the gate paddles. It's his first trip out, so...
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
I got him to go up the river, and we came down the river, didn't you?
Yeah.
Walked down the river, nice and easy, and then we'll just go up here and potter along.
Yeah. Oh well, enjoy.
Summer holidays are going to keep you busy, haven't you?
Well, it's all memories as well, isn't it? Either.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Did you name this the Swan Dog or was
No, it was already named. I didn't want to change it.
Does it say the Swamp Dog on it?
It's on the front. It's on both sides. And it's got the cartoon sort of duck, which I didn't want to lose because I thought that's quite nice actually. And there is a tradition that if you rename your boat,
With bad luck.
you can only do it, yeah. If you do it whilst it's in the water, that's bad luck. In order to rename it, you have to take it out of the water and then put it back in.
It's a bit of a myth.
It's a bit of a myth, yeah. It's like relaunching it, you know. And you know, you don't really want to upset the myth, do you? The gods.
Right, here are we?
No. That's the space for turning boat.
I just stay to the left of this boat, right?
Yeah. Just head for that next bridge.
Yeah.
You're working well.
Huh?
You're working well. John, have a go, see how strong you are.
I'll push it.
Sit. You just have to go slowly. It's about ready. Nearly. Yeah, it's good. Right.
What about everything now?
Yep, it's on. Very slowly.
That's
Bit more. That's it. That's it. Bring it over. That's it. Then bring it back the other way. Just head back up. Thank you very much. No. No. Oh. There you go. Oop, there you go. No harm done. No, you're right, don't bother with that. Just keep going. That's it. That's the little one. Yeah, we're through. That's fine. Well done, that's your first getting out of a lock.
기다렸어요 오랜 시간을 밤이 지나고 빛이 쏟아지게 삶이라는 건 답이 없었고 하루하루가 버거웠던 날들 눈물 짓던 시간 속에 그댈 만난 법 선물이죠 지금이란 순간을 그대가 있어 완성이죠 이 사랑 소중한 걸요 고마웠어요 어느 날 문득 걸어온 길을 되돌아봤을 때 외로웠던 걸음 곁에 그대 발자국 선물이죠 지금이란 순간을 그대가
Getting a bit confident now, aren't you?
함께해줘 마지막까지 때론 힘겨워 울지 몰라 긴 하루 그대 두 팔 벌려 날 안아준다면 선물이죠 앞으로의 날들도 또 다른 지금을 선물해줄 그대가 기다려줘요.
Back at the marina, have you had a good day?
Yes.
Brilliant, I think you steered it very well. It was tough going at times when you got to go past a lot of moored boats and things, but I think you did very well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to find out more about the rules and regulations, then just have a look in the RYA handbook. That tells you a lot of the things that you need to know about safety on the waterways and tying knots and locks, and it tells you all about the helmsman's course. And thank you very much for watching, and do take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.